And then I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and give you guys a presentation on the program here in Orange County. Okay. So I'm John Roberts. I am a Master Gardener Coordinator, but I'm also an extension agent here for the county. So it's a very large county. We have approximately right now in the neighborhood of 150 Master Gardeners to service the entire county. And so it's a pretty big program. It's a lot of volunteers. And I mean, we're here to help the county in general with meet its horticultural needs. Many of you are residential homeowners or have access to property to do gardening and that type of thing, landscaping. And people need a lot of advice, and there's a lot of bad advice out there. And we're here to try and help people get the best access to advice that they can here, directly from the university, which is all research-based information that is provided by scientists from the university. So, like I mentioned, we're with the University of Florida, but we're part of the Cooperative Extension Service. So this was set up a long time ago. It was actually part of originally the Morrill Act set into place extension, which was to basically set up a university system for farmers and agriculture throughout all of the United States. And to this day, it's been expanded. The Smith-Lever Act, I believe, in the early 1900s, made it so that each county within a particular state has an extension office in it. And the purpose of this is to literally extend the reach of the university and succeeding in its mission to educate the public. We are here to educate all of you based on the best science to our knowledge on how to take care of these particular aspects of that are relevant to homeowners. So in this case, it is the plants. Try to take care of your plants, your turf, etc. So you can see here we're broken into various sections, and we're in the central district here. So this is where we're concerned. Like this is how they break it down. And our boss that we answer to here is Tim Mamol, and he's up at the university. All these bosses are up at the university for the most part, and so that's who we answer to, and that's how we get our job done. But then we also have the center director here, and we have awesome facilities. And if you ever have a chance to check it out, definitely come to our local campus here, the Orange County Extension Education Center. So what do the agents do? We do a lot of stuff, but I mean, our main thing is to interface with the public and educate the public. And in particular, we meet with an advisory committee that helps steer what we're doing and addressing the needs of the public. And we can develop our program and curriculum based off of that. We have all sorts of exhibits and displays that we take all out to the public. We do lots of presentations. We meet up on various forms of media like radio and TV. And we keep up with newsletters, some of them on the local newspapers, etc. And we also do abstracts and a little bit of science on the side too. Particularly, it's more on the social side of science, because that's what we deal with more here, is what all the citizens of residents of Orange County need. So the Master Gardener program was originally established in University of Washington in 1973, or Washington State, pardon me. It was the first counties. It was a partnership between, I guess, Tacoma, I think, which was King County, Washington, and a nearby county. And it was a huge success. And other states started copying the program all over. So we officially started in 1979. We have some master gardener. We have one master gardener in particular that has been in the program in Orange County since 1983 or 4, I believe. So we've been here a long time, relatively, and the program has been a huge success because it just it takes a lot of, like, I'm, as an extension agent, I'm just one person, but having volunteers to help out and, at the same time be educated and extend that education to other people, that's the whole mission of this program. So, and that's, I mean, I guess that to feed into that, the literal mission is to assist the extension agents in providing research-based horticultural education to Florida residents. So, and basically, as an extension agent, I just went over what we do. It's to educate the public, and and in particular for us, it's on horticultural issues. So the vision for the program is to be the most trusted resource for horticultural education in the state of Florida. So what do you all do? There's a lot that you all do. Plant clinics. There's on-site mobile plant clinic as well. You maintain the exploration gardens at the Orange County Extension Education Center, where we're based out of. You help maintain the garden at the Orange County Admin Building. So the maintenance, this also plays into education because these are educational gardens. They are examples of what we want a good garden that is Florida friendly will look like. We also represent you go out and represent the organization, answer questions for the public, often at events. There's a speakers bureau that is, you go out and you give talks in addition to me. For every talk I give, like, I generally want the master gardeners to also be giving a talk. We collaborate with other organizations, government entities, and businesses with similar missions of serving the public. So we do a lot of collaborating. And then in general, just provide guidance for community gardens and other groups seeking horticultural assistance. And like I mentioned, I'm one person, but you all are the extension of the extension program. So it's one thing to be in a county somewhere, but this really helps us to get out there and move to all the various sections of the county. It's a big county, and there's a lot of people, and they need a lot of help. So perks of the Master Gardener Volunteer Program: you've got access to university level education resources. And basically it's just the cost of the printed material. It's going to be a lot of material. It's going to be kind of just scratching the surface for a lot of that stuff, but that's kind of the nice thing about this. If you make it through the class here, you cover a lot, and you can go as deep as you want to in any of those topics that we cover. But we're going to be all over the place in terms of hitting everything horticultural, basically, that you would be relevant for Florida. Support in your gardening endeavors. So you've got that from us, and you've got that from your other volunteers here. And a community of fellow gardeners. So that's one of the big perks, is that there is a social side to this. And I mean, I get it. There's plenty of people that are not as social and or more into hanging out with the plants, but you will be with plant people. So you'll have other people to collaborate with and talk to. And I think we can all appreciate that. But if you are a social person, there's a lot of people here that have made all sorts of friendships. And I mean, I think that's a really nice aspect of this as well, is that you've got all these people to tap into, and garden people are pretty cool, or at least I think so. the intrinsic benefit of helping your community as well. So that's really what this is all about, is helping others and getting that outreach, educating people, and that's what we're here for. So just to basically cover training, traditionally is most of the day on Tuesdays from the beginning of September to early December. But we're going to be trying something a little bit different. Instead of all of the day, we're probably going to be going to partial day. And the reason for that is some of it is going to move. Some of the material, we just had a virtual class that was completely online. Some of the material we're just going to keep partly online. And that will keep things easier. So part of it will be on you to get through those couple of lectures, but then we'll still have some of the lectures in person here. So it'll depend on the topic, but we will still be consistently meeting on Tuesdays during that same time period. But probably instead of from 8 a.m. until 4, it's going to be something more along the lines of 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So in your first year that you're becoming a master gardener, you're not really officially a master gardener until you make it through your first year. You got 75 hours of service that you need to complete. So this would be from January 2022 until the end of December in 2022. You got 75 hours of service that need to be completed, 40 of which needs to be within the plant clinic. We have a very large and very nice facility for a plant clinic relative to most counties. So we've definitely put a premium on people doing their service there as well, and having people trained in staffing to know how to do it. It's just part of the territory of being Orange County. We have, if you're here, it's what we do. Just because the county, the citizens here have become used to us servicing them in this way. But if it's not your thing, there's other things, there are other aspects of the program that you can still serve. But I just want everyone to have an idea that there is a high expectation for people to come through and do a lot of their service in the plant clinic if possible. So after that 75 hours in the first year, it gets reduced down to 50 for the second, and then it drops down 5 all the way until you make it to 5 years. Then it remains at 35 hours from there on out. So we want you. So go ahead, please apply. We want you here. We need your help. And I mean, but also keep in mind, everybody wants to be a master gardener. Not everybody wants to be a volunteer, but we need volunteers. And if you're, if that's something that you're not sure you can have time for, or you can be committed toward, I mean, like, you can still go through the class, but I mean, that we want people that are going to stick around and are going to be able to contribute to helping the community of Orange County. So just keep that in mind. We definitely need the help. So, and here's just the basics of what we're going to need. Janie will cover this in more detail too, but you have to be an Orange County resident. You got to provide 3 references. We'll need a copy of your photo ID, driver's license, passport, etc. $175 class fee. So if you don't make it in, we'll reimburse you. And then if you do make it in, that'll go towards your books. So in ways to pay the class fee, you can either do cash, check or money order, or credit card via the Eventbrite website, but there is a service fee associated with that. So that's it on my part here. I guess if you want to jump to it, Jenny, and you can share and give yours, and then we'll just take any questions if folks have at the end.
Okay. All right. Share screen. Let's see.
Looks good.
All right. My name is Janie Sailors, and I'm one of the master gardeners. And I just want to expand a bit on some of the overview that John gave you. So let's just think about how I can become a master gardener. I have to say this to you. I joined Master Gardeners. I was a class of 2018, and I had no idea how wonderful it would be. So I say set your expectations high, because you will find there's so many different ways you can be a part of the group, and the rewards to you are great. So just think about it. So how can I become a master gardener volunteer? The volunteer word was added. Some of you may know it as master gardeners, but we try to say volunteer now, because that was added a couple of years ago to make it clear that this is not a paid position and that we're working, together with the community. I say master gardeners harvest like-minded friends. And you all know, you get together and all of a sudden everybody is talking plants. And you also get the research-based knowledge. I can't say it enough clearly about the information that you will gain. It is so much of it you can take home with you. You can practice, you can try it, but it's University of Florida's, certified land grant information. And then we find ways to get back to nature and to the community. And I think it was inadvertent, but it's kind of appropriate that we're doing this on Earth Day. And we can figure out, perhaps a way to improve the climate we're in. I wanted to show you, these are just flowers from my backyard. But over here, you see these beautiful little faces. We have a partnership with Orange County Public Schools, and we work with some of the 3 to 5-year-olds. And this, obviously because it's COVID, everything has been a little bit different than we would like it to be. But when we are able to go into the schools and work with the kids, it's very rewarding. These are just some of the kids that I worked with a couple of years ago. And you can see them, they're waving to you. So we're looking to expand that. And we want to thank you. The Master Gardener program cannot operate without folks like you, those willing to share their time and learn skills and support horticulture in our county. Now, the Master Gardener mission statement, your mission statement define where you are and where you're headed. To assist the extension agents, and in our case, that's Dr. John Roberts, research-based horticultural education to Florida residents. And you will hear us repeating research-based. The reason there's an emphasis on that is that we all have our little tricks we've used over the years. And sometimes you would say, well, if you put a Bayer aspirin in there, or if you do this or do that. And we have to remember that we cannot really use or share home remedies. All of the suggestions and guidance we give needs to be research-based. And there are multitudes of materials at your fingertips, and you will find that out. So how do you get started? Which way do we go? Pre-COVID, we did this in person, and it was so, it was a morning event. We had some tours, we had breakfast or snacks, and we met over here in this beautiful setting, which is part of the administration building, opposite, away from where we are. And it looks out into the gardens, and it's just a wonderful facility. Right now, we're kind of in the middle of sort of getting back to kind of like maybe somebody could possibly be a little bit normal and still stuck in the COVID rules and the rules of Orange County. So we're doing this virtually, but I did want to give you, because part of that morning was a tour of the gardens. So there's just a few pictures here of some of the areas. This is the formal gardens. You know, you can always tell because everything is manicured. And then this is the pergola excellence entrance, which is very, you know, pretty spacious walkway. Here we have pollinator gardens, and there's one of our friends helping out. You will find tons of beautiful displays throughout the gardens. We have volunteers that help maintain them, as well as we have 2 employees, Troy and Dave, who do wonderful work with our gardens. This is strawberries. I just think it's quite impressive to see this. Doesn't exactly look like mine. That's a good thing. This is one of the walkways and the different kinds of settings in the garden. We have vegetable gardens, and here's one of the vegetables. These are your leafy greens coming through. In here, there's just about a little bit of everything that you could want in a vegetable garden, and then the pollinator plants around the outside. There is an area of flowering trees, and they're coming back. The hurricanes that we've had have certainly impacted some of the trees, but they're recovering. This is the tree walk, so you can see it's very well maintained out here. Behind the gardens are located behind the building that I showed you, where we would meet if we were able to do it in person. Here's some of the cactus and succulents along one of the other pathways. And this is exciting. This is a setup for an outside class. And if you have ever been to the extension office, there are picnic tables, and it's a covered setting where you can have a small class. Unfortunately, again, with the limitations on the number of people and social distancing, we haven't been able to use as many things as we would like to. This is the rain garden and some more of the pollinator plants. And then we have a shade garden. This picture is from last year, but some of the, the palladiums are coming up now, and they're really quite attractive. So in COVID-19 times, how are we going to do this? We're doing it by Zoom. Let me reiterate a couple of things that John mentioned. Whoops. One of them is that you must be an Orange County resident. And every county around us has a group of master gardeners. So if you realize that you're not actually in Orange County, you can seek, and we can give you some information on where you would go to find out about that county's Master Gardener program. We will be partnering with Osceola County, and particularly the on-site classes. So they will be, again, 20-some folks from Osceola County. John is looking to recruit no more and possibly less, around 20 class members. We do have some folks that graciously moved to this class from the last group because we were over. And some folks really were wanting a in-person experience. So they said they would consider this, if things were the same, then they would come back in September. It is not expected for you to be a horticulturist, and I think this is important. You will learn as you go, and the education is extensive. The class begins September 2021. There is a application that you will download, and John or the office can give you the link. I'm going to touch on a couple things that I didn't know about at the time that I came in. The application, I think it's about 3 pages, and it does ask for 3 references. So if you know that in advance, it's helpful, because I had to put my references down, and then I left the meeting and called them to tell them they were my references. So you might want to put some planning in there. And what we need to know is the best way and best time, if possible, to contact these folks. So, that way we don't waste their time or play phone tag. We also, as John said, we have to have a copy of your photo ID, a driver's license, a passport, something like that. There is a fee and payment process, and as he said, it covers class materials. And if you don't, or you change, or whatever, that money is refundable. It's $175, which you can pay in exact cash, check or money order made out to the University of Florida, or credit card through the Eventbrite website, which is right here. And there is a service fee for using the credit card. As you all know, most of the time there is one. So this comes out to $187 total, plus the 29 cents. 5 o'clock on May 28th, and that is a hard deadline. So somewhere mark it down, because decisions for this class will it'll be closed at that point. There's more. Once we have the applications, there will be background checks. Some of these things are county rules. All the candidates will have an interview, and this will be a face-to-face interview with, hopefully face-to-face, with Dr. John and a couple of the master gardeners. If it can't be face-to-face, then it'll be done through Zoom. You will receive a syllabus and your schedules, and then there are books that you also receive, and that's where the fees go. Classes will meet hopefully in person and virtually. So as John said, we're planning for some Tuesday classes, and then that will be supplemented with online resources and materials that you'll have access to. All of the instructors are skilled presenters in their field. Most of them are from UF or a partner extension office. One class absence only is permitted. So if you run into a problem meeting with Dr. Roberts, we'll help you figure out how you can work your way through that. All class members are required to develop a presentation, and this is not meant to be a big thing. It's about 10 minutes on a topic you like. There is a final exam, and it allows you to use your resources, so don't be scared off by an exam. We're hoping to have a celebration. I put it in here because I'm convinced we'll be able to have a celebration by the December of 2022. You earn continuing education and volunteer hours, and someone had asked from the beginning, will there be questions? And yes, you can answer any questions. You can ask questions, whatever that you would like. And I will turn this over to John. You want to take it back or however we do this. Okay.
Okay. Well, if we can take questions at this time.
I'll look in the chat box. There was one earlier. Oh, I think I closed it.
There was that Sarasota County question. I answered that like in the direct message, but I mean, technically, if you're from another county, but you live here as your principal address, you just need to provide some other documents to back that up. Like if you have basically, your utility fee that copy of that like you're actually have residence here, we'll take that as well.
Hi, John. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep. So good afternoon, and thank you guys so much for putting this together. I think the presentation was really informative. I've done a lot of research and just watching videos and stuff, and even I, saw some things that I really liked and I was impressed by. My questions largely revolve around kind of like trying to balance. I might not be the only one here who has a full-time job, but I'm certainly very interested. So the first question is the volunteering piece flexible to more of a weekend? Understanding, obviously, the clinic probably has working hours and things like that, or just, can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, we definitely, part of the program is kind of been in mothballs during COVID, but there should be enough avenues for folks to be able to do hours during the week. Here, Janie, you need to stop sharing.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
Hold on, let me help you out here.
Wait, stop. Got it. I think
Okay.
Hey.
It's like you're drawing on the screen, kind of. So it's like getting distracted. Sorry, but yeah, there should be plenty of opportunities to help out here. And like we have the plant clinic that's available on the weekends that goes to events. We also, if there's multiple events going on the same weekend, we often have farmers markets that folks go to and just have a table and just answer questions, or if they can't answer it right there, they'll write them down and we will answer them in the clinic during the week. So it's just another way for us to get out there, let people know that we're here. And yeah, there should be ample opportunities here moving forward for us to engage the public. There's libraries as well. And so, yeah, I think that if you're trying to be a weekend warrior volunteer, it should be manageable. And I will work with you if that is a concern. Like, let me know, and I will try and help you basically find a place for you where you're going to be successful in the program.
Can I just inject just another quick question? So piggybacking on that a little bit, would you say that this program could fit well or would work well for someone who may not have a background in anything? Obviously, the disclaimer, right, is you don't have to be an expert in horticulture, but someone that's still very wet behind the ears on all things landscaping or plant care and things like that. I guess my secondary question is, what kind of working knowledge will be expected coming in on things like chemistry, like organic chemistry, NPK, things like that? I think those questions are kind of tied together. What's the expectation on knowledge going in?
I'm glad you asked that. We definitely, you don't need much experience, if at all, with any of that. And that's kind of the expectation is that, and the philosophy of the program is definitely that the more experience that you get being engaged in the program, the more you're going to have to offer. we're going to provide the foundation here. The rest is going to be kind of, we'll keep you guys up to date with continuing education. There's lunch and learns every month. The state puts out its own monthly educational thing for master gardeners. There's multiple ways to get that continuing education, but the rest is up to you. And so, and honestly, I think that is probably some of the best training that you can get is with the plant clinics and that type of thing. We don't expect you to be able to answer everything that comes to you, and that's fine. But if you can get the people in the right direction that come, the residents of Orange County that come to you, and then from there, like that's the biggest thing is being able to find the answers that are offered through the university system. Not just us, but other states have their versions of extension. So if you can find the answers there, that's the biggest thing. And then from there, you'll learn each time. And I think Janie can probably corroborate this somewhat, like that every time you come in here, it's something new, right?
It is, and it really is fun. One of the very first people that called the plant clinic when I was working told me she was going to replace all of her landscaping. This is the second time she'd done it, and she wanted me to give her advice on. She wants no plants that will die. And all I could think of was plastic, but that's not really a good answer, nor is it research-based. So you just don't know. But when you were asking what skills do you need, I think you need to be comfortable with a computer, and that's about all. Do you know Dr. Google? And it will, and we ask you to use, your science-based resource, EDIS and IFAS, which you'll become familiar with, resources. So as long as you're able to tap a keyboard and use a search engine, you will have what you need, and you will gain with every step. The other thing is we have recently switched so that the plant clinic can maintain a database, for want of a better word. So there is a resource just from the collective learning that the master gardeners gather as they're dealing with clients, and that's available also. So again, it is not a requirement. I was very green, and I still feel there's so much I don't know, and there is so much I don't know. So don't put pressure on yourself that nobody else will. I don't know if that helps.
The more you're here, the more you get comfortable. And really, yeah, that's the biggest thing is being able to research and find the answers. And we'll everyone, in addition to going through the class, something else to mention here is that we give you all 10 hours. You need 10 hours of training in the plant clinic as well to get you ready to volunteer, since that is such a big expectation for Orange County, is doing that 40 hours your first year in the plant clinic. And so we want you to be prepared. We want you to be comfortable, and really confidence and being comfortable. That will take you 90% of the way. The rest of it is like being able to know where to look in Google, and then being able to how to print things off and that type of thing. It's really, but people are very gracious a lot of the time for the help that you can give them, and it's right there in front of you. It's not like you're some of the other volunteer things where you might not see the result of what you're doing. That is the nice thing about volunteering here, is that you actually get to interact firsthand with the folks that need help, and you're learning at the same time. So let's see. There's another question. Will the presentation slides be made available and where to access? So you were all part of the email group that we've got, I guess a listserv. I will follow up and email all of you the PDFs of what you just saw here. And I will also give you a link to this recording as well. I'll throw it up on YouTube and make it available. And then we'll also provide, I will outline as well what you need for the application process. So that should be coming here probably early next week. And then you'll have until the end of the month of May to get that to us. So, and then the interview process will be throughout June. And all that stuff will wrap up by the beginning of July. There'll be 2 months, and then we'll start up in September for the classes for everyone that's made it through. So, any other questions? Anything else? Well, I guess, yeah, it's been about 45 minutes.
Marcia, I have a
Yeah,
question.
I have a question, sort of related to the, timing of doing the volunteer work. I'm a resident of Orange County. I'm here most of the time, but in the summers, I typically leave. So I am wondering if there's still an opportunity for me to be able to be involved in this program. I mean, I certainly could fit those hours in, or if there's even something that I can do remotely while I'm not here.
Yeah, I think that the main thing for folks in your situation, I think you're going to have to power through like as much as possible while you're here in person.
Okay.
And that's possible. I mean, we
are
garden all
better.
year here. If this
Right.
program, you go up north and do something similar, they do all of their training in the winter. And then
Right.
and then everything else happens during the summer. Here, that's a lot of our active gardening season actually is
Right.
like, so yeah, our summer is actually our downtime. And that's why, I mean, July and August, we're not really doing anything with you all. So that's,
So that might work
so there,
out.
as long as you think you can fit it the rest of those hours in throughout, I don't know what your breakdown is, but I think you could probably fit 75 hours in just 6 months here, if that's
Yeah.
what.
Okay.
So you're just going to have to be very active with
Doing
it.
that. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't an
And
issue.
there are people here with that type of arrangement for sure. Like they go
Okay.
up north. So
Thank you.
no problem. So, all right. Any other questions? I'll give it 10 seconds here. 10,
Maybe a
15
more,
seconds. Yes, sir.
I'll steal the last time for maybe more lighthearted question. What's keeping you all busy in your own home gardens nowadays? I know the weather is kind of shifting a little bit, or at least seems like it. Anything interesting you're taking on personally?
I mean, it just all depends. Like, I think the big thing here, I like to do a lot of vegetable gardening. And I think that the thing that people have to keep in mind, and this is something that we'll cover ad nauseum, like is right plant, right place, but there's also right time for a lot of the vegetables. And so, yeah, I mean, we're getting to the point where we're wrapping up the active part of the warm seasons vegetables. You can still grow a few things during the summer, like eggplant and some of the hot peppers, etc., okra. But the summer, then we'll go into like the second warm season. So August, and then you go to your cold season, and then you start with your other warm season. I don't know, February, you get those plants in the ground. So yeah, I'm just wrapping up the warm season stuff right now. I'm putting in some okra, a few other things. So
I'm a transplanted northerner. I have been here now for 20 years, so whatever. But I didn't believe a lot of the things at first. And when they said, "Oh well, don't plant it that close. It'll grow over your house," and I'm thinking, "What's he talking about? You have to just." So I learned a lot of hard lessons, and I think that we all it's really fun to see what others have learned and to learn from your mistakes. I'm a believer now. And I truly believe you have, I still have some winter tomatoes that I'm getting, which, it's about time to start pulling those plants. Probably past time, but you know how that is.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. Thanks for sharing that. I know some people are pushing the bounds of what 9B means or something like that. So it's interesting to hear that coming from you as a transplant, but thanks for sharing that.
And we'll get all into those topics if you enter the class, microclimates and being what does it mean to be on the subtropics? But like, I mean, are we really in the subtropics here? Well, we'll elaborate a lot on that. So that's definitely a topic that we'd like to talk about here in the Orlando area, in the I-4 corridor. So, but yeah, I guess if there's anybody else here, if there's any more questions, we'll go to the next question. No. Well, folks, thank you very much for making it here and giving your time to learn about the program. And if you, like I said, we'll follow up with an email here, and we'll keep you all posted. And hopefully, we'll be seeing you all very soon here in the application process. But take care. Happy gardening. Hopefully, the weather is really good for you all this weekend, and hope to see you soon. Take care.
Thank
Good luck
you.
with the eggplants.
Take care.
Alrighty, bye-bye.